All right, here we go. One, two, three. One, two, three. What's up, guys? Welcome to Moonrunner City. I'm Chris. Here we go. This is F1 the movie review. So I just saw F1 the movie. I really liked it. I approved. It was awesome. Those are quotes from a little 7-year-old that I heard jumping out of the movie theater when we walked out. And for a little 7-year-old to come out of the movie theater, that's 2 hours plus. This is not a short movie. And for them to come out and just right away just yell out, it's awesome. I think the movie did its job. And the audience that I was with seemed pretty pleased. Wasn't a packed house. It was maybe like about halfway filled on a Friday 4 o'clock showing. So audience was pleased. I was pleased. Let me tell you what about it. So right away, the movie starts off. I think the first half hour of the movie was really like well done and really did its job of like soaking you in and getting you into the world of motorsport and eventually F1. The movie starts off. We get like a little dream sequence of Brad Pitt thinking about a past accident, and he wakes up, and we're 4 minutes till he's got to jump in the car and do like a stint for a race in for the 24-hour of Daytona. So right away we're just like kind of thrown right into a race, and it's like the perfect way to really start off this movie, to just kind of like get from the trailer. He zips everything up, he clips everything on, and boom, we're in the car. He clips into the car, and you're off. And the movie kind of like follows that in sort of like real time. And the best way to start the movie like this, to really get you locked in into this world of motorsports and racing. And then yeah, for the next like 30 minutes the movie really goes off and continues that, and continues like just taking you from one race to a practice to like a practice session to another race. And so it goes on from beat to beat to beat, and it's really well done and really good. Everything is just pretty superb. Camera work is really well done. When you see it on the big screen, you definitely are like, wow. You know, even though you've seen it. If you've seen the trailers, it looks cool. Seeing it on the big screen with the sound and it all happening in real time, it's definitely like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm glad I saw this in the movie theater. Let's just say that paid money to see this in the movie theater. And so yeah, the first 30 minutes, well, really well done. Really, really thought it was great. The rest of the movie is still really good. Um, I thought maybe you could trim like maybe like 10 minutes, but you know, trimming 10 minutes, that's not a big complaint. It didn't really squirm in my seat. I wasn't checking my watch. At no time during the movie was I thinking about anything else, like outside the movie theater. You know, I wasn't thinking about, oh, I got to go to work tomorrow, or what are we gonna make for dinner. A lot of that was really far from my mind throughout the entire movie. So the movie does a really good job of like holding your attention and keeping you there and keeping you immersed in this world that it's showing you, which is the world of motorsports and F1. That being said, I think I really appreciated how they did that, and not only shooting things for real and trying to like not be um, always like using CG and just putting the actors in a car and shaking the camera around. You know, they really went out of their way to train the actors, and then they also shoot in and around real race day and race events, which is, you know, as an F1 fan, that's not an easy thing to do. I mean, if you think about a football game and think about like a movie shooting during the football game, like actual football footage during the football game, not just of like some side story happening while the football game plays. Like this is actual race footage during actual races. You know, I remember seeing race sequences that you actually saw 2 years ago. They've been shooting this film for about a good year and a half. And so I really appreciated that because that's not an easy thing to do. And they really knew that that was going to come across, or at least that it would help them come across in the movie and really just get the audience on board and soak them into this world of motorsports and do what a movie's supposed to do, which is, you know, not just escape, but experience. And this movie does that. I think you really are able to experience um, something that you don't normally experience in your everyday. Even as a race fan, with some of the Hollywood things that went on, which there were some, I wasn't really mad at it because you get it. You get that it's, 2 hour races are not, always crazy exciting. And it's those little moments that make it like really gripping. And to get that across in a movie is really hard. It's got to be kind of action packed. Um, and so there are liberties that this movie takes in what can happen during a race, kind of like the racecraft. But I think, it does its job. Yeah, you kind of don't. I'm not really. It doesn't really make you mad, or it doesn't really take you out of the movie too much. Yeah, I mean, the movie. They so every race weekend there's a race, but there's also like a whole weekend of practice and qualifying and then the race that happens. And in this movie you're not really aware of any of that that's happening. It seems like each race kind of comes and then we're kind of like dumped into like just race day and go racing, and it's not really how it is. And but other than that, I don't really have any problems with how the race world was really portrayed at all in this. I think as far as a sports movie, this does a really good job as being just a sports movie, and um, being about themes of like teamwork and like and sportsmanship. Being a good sportsman in a sport where it's an individual sport, but like boxing and racing, there's a big huge team behind you to get you to that point. And so it is, you do have to learn teamwork, and that's what this movie's about. Brad Pitt's kind of the older statesman. He has a bad accident, and so his career never takes off, and so he's just kind of off and about chasing kind of that euphoria, that feeling of flying is what they call it. It's just being, at the peak of your level. That's kind of what he's chasing. He's not really chasing wins or money or anything like that. He's just kind of chasing that feeling, that idea of like, on this day I was the best that I could be. Um, so that's what he's chasing in this movie, and in this movie he comes across Damson Idris' character, JP, and he's an up and coming star who's, he's not a superstar or anything like that. His job is kind of on the line, um, depending on whether or not how this race season goes. So he's kind of got to step it up, and Brad Pitt comes along, and he doesn't. I think that the chemistry between these two is done really well because they're not. You know, you could have went in the direction where JP's character was really antagonistic towards Brad's character, Sonny Hayes, but it's not. It's done in like a real way where they're competitive to each other, and this is for like all the characters, but is nothing is done in a real like cartoony caricature way. There's no like like nobody's like really evil, or like or super altruistic or anything like that. Everybody's like a real person, and So you don't have any like mustache twirling bad guys really. There are some characters that may be considered like antagonistic, but other than that, um, yeah, it doesn't get like kind of silly with people trying to sabotage each other. This is a very dangerous sport, and there's a lot of drama already set up there because there's a lot at stake. And yeah, so the movie was really good. I really enjoyed it. The romance story I thought was really well done. Also, I thought they didn't linger on it too much. It's not like a love story where the two characters are like love at first sight. They're kind of just characters that kind of fall for each other, and the romance, like in Top Gun, Maverick, it's just kind of short and sweet and just nice. It's nothing. Um, it's nothing in the movie. It doesn't hinder the movie in any way, and it does kind of do something for the movie too. The relationship between Sunny Hayes and Kara Carrie's character, Carrie Codones. I forget her name in the movie, but um, yeah, I forget Carrie Condons. She plays the female character who is she's not a strategist. She's the engineer. So she's supposed to be like the first woman race engineer in F1. So their relationship is done very well. I think she doesn't come across too overbearing. She's not a pain in the ass. She doesn't try to steal the show. Um, she's like a hard woman that's out to win and do the best that she can, and that's what everybody in this film is trying to do. Even the relationship between um, the Dempsey's character, JP, has a relationship like with his mother, and she kind of comes along with him during the races, and her kind of character arc is also well done, and she's also not too overbearing, and you get where all these characters are coming from. They're not coming from like a fake place that that has to be done because of course this character has to say this thing in this movie to move the plot along. It's not like contrived. They all feel very real, even though they all are playing character types, mentor, you know things like that. What else? What we got here? The music was, I thought, was really well done. Also, Hans Zimmer is usually sometimes his scores can be a little like overbearing, but this one is just, or sometimes they're just like okay. But this one is really good. I think I went home kind of thinking of some of the tunes and the themes that went on in this movie. And I think the soundtrack in this movie is really well done also. You don't, I'm an old man, so I don't really listen to music anymore, but from what I heard, the song seemed like they make your average younger viewer happy. Let's just say that. So yeah, I think as a F1 fan, like I said, I don't have any complaints. And that they need to do things for to make it engaging and entertaining for people, and they also have to be able to get people that don't understand F1 at all to understand what's going on, and also to feel like it's exciting and worthwhile to be watching. So some liberties have to be taken, but those it was all still very good fun. I had a really good time. I give it an 8 out of 10, and I definitely recommend. It's got my stamp of approval. So tell me what you guys think. Come back next time, and I'll see you guys later. Be good. Bye.